We're already popping.
Oh, man. But you know why?
10:28. You know why? Because Poet's here, Midday Shenanigans host, Dish Nation correspondent. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, Aquarius. Ooh, it's about to be. It's our season.
It's our season.
Until when? Tomorrow?
Always.
Oh.
December 31st, 11:59:59.
This whole ensemble, can you just stand, if you will, and I mean, on this Black History Month, and I love the prints, even your nails, it's the detail for me.
Yes.
The nail Picasso, but the dress is from Roses in Forestville.
No, wait a second. Wait a second. What?
This dress is from. I am loving showing people that you can look fly, walk a red carpet, and not spend all your money. I got too many things to do. I know y'all. So this dress was probably like $12.
Wow.
Look at, hey girl, you single. My. Oh, Jazzy did the face.
Oh, you look like $1 million.
Yes.
Always do, but
I feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to $2 billion. So.
Whoa, the price just went up.
Yeah, today's price is not
It's just not yesterday's price. Poet, good to see you again. So glad to have you back on the couch talking about some celebrity mess.
I'm so thankful to be here. I feel like y'all are friends in my head, even though we know each other in real life.
In real life.
So I be at home cussing, fussing. That ain't right. That ain't it. And that's a testimony to what y'all bring to the camera and how you make me feel at home.
Thank you, Poet. I love getting a text from her mid-show. It's a time.
I don't get a text mid-show.
Oh, but we got to change that.
If you want my number, just, it's the dress. Roses did it. You ready to ask me out, Valentine?
Is that all you
dropper? What are we doing?
It wouldn't be a Poet show without this, so I love it.
You stepped right into the
I did.
But you did, because you see how men do?
Yeah.
I don't get a text. If you want, this is the year.
Are you saying I gaslit you?
This is a me year.
Okay, this is a me
So
year.
ask for what you want.
Okay.
And now that it's sitting across from you.
Oh.
I mean.
Okay.
This is Michelin 6-star, baby.
Michelin 6-star. Okay.
I know you like a good meal.
Oh.
We're going to kick things off with a bombshell. I think we just had one. Part 1 of the Real Housewives of Potomac aired last night, and let's just say nothing was left untouched. This is perfect.
Yes, it is.
Hurry up and bring Chris in. Where's Chris?
But there was something noticeably missing.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Poet. Welcome back. Always a pleasure. You've got us all cracking up back here. Listen, we have known about Karen's absence from the reunion for a few weeks, ever since the first teaser dropped and the seating chart. However, last night we finally got to see how it all played out for the other housewives. In case you missed it, here's a little sneak peek.
There's an elephant in the room that we need to address. Karen, the Grand Dame, is not with us. She sent a message. Let's take a look. That made you cry?
As much as I hate her, I love her.
I think it's just sad.
Having seen that, it all adds up. And now I can confidently say that is not my friend.
Remember, this all comes after Karen was convicted of driving under the influence. And even though she was not at the reunion, she still took time to defend her character. She played a video. You saw a little bit of it there. In the video, she denied being an alcoholic. She also accepted responsibility for what happened during that incident back in March. So days after making that video, remember, Karen checked herself into rehab when one of her castmates questioned the timing of all of that. Take a look.
I'm wondering, is she doing it because she feels like she needs help, or is she doing it because she feels like it will lighten the blow of the sentence?
Well, let's give her grace.
We're all giving her grace.
We're all giving her grace.
We're all giving her grace.
Yes.
No, we're all giving
I'm
her
just
grace.
happy that she's in recovery and taking care of herself.
Yeah, I get that.
Let's just acknowledge that.
I get that, but I feel like sometimes, like, what you're trying to say is by us questioning her as her friends, you're trying to lessen what we're saying, and that's not fair. This doesn't have to be cookie cutter all the time. Part of friendship is also being honest.
So later on in the reunion, Andy played a second video from Karen in which she had a message for her fellow housewives. She thanked Giselle for her support during this ordeal. Now remember, Karen will be sentenced next week. Meanwhile, part 2 of the reunion airs this Sunday. So, Marissa, remember, there were a lot of rumors about Karen maybe not coming back to the franchise. One of the things she said in that message is the Grand Dame will not be back. Karen will, because Karen is enough.
Ooh, the way that just hit. And my thing is, I'm at the point where it doesn't matter to me when, how, why she decided not to return and to go into rehab. She's there. and that's what she needs. So I understand what Wendy is saying, but with the other ladies, I think it's more important that we focus on the healing, because evidently there's a difference between a grand dame and Karen, and that's what she's focused on.
I think Wendy's being messy.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who chooses to wait for someone's lowest moment to kick them even more, she might be rehabbing from y'all, because for those in real girlfriend relationships, we don't act like that.
We don't.
So she might need a rehab and a reset from the people that she's around and pouring into her. And I wish her nothing but healing and wellness, because I bet you everybody sitting on that couch being real judgy with that finger out got 3 pointed back at them. You just ain't been caught in your mess. And I believe in karma and all that they're giving Karen right now. Don't be surprised in a season or two when we see all your business front and center. And then let's see how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think two things happen here. One, okay, so Wendy asking the question on live TV in a setting like this. This is not new information. We know that Karen went to rehab. Yeah. We know that. But I just think the way in which she did it, to your point, which is that's not how girlfriends react with one another. Friends, how they react. When you see someone going through it, you tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, listen, let's go get some lunch. Let's talk about it. But to do it on camera says she had an ulterior motive, in my opinion. The second thing about this is Wendy, her going to rehab in this moment means that, yes, she was trying to avoid some legal, ramifications. She did it at a very specific time. And I think Karen's saying that, listen, I am not an addict, right? I'm just going through a tough moment. I got to go to rehab just to get you guys off my back a little bit. But I don't think that she's an addict. I think that she's just dealing with a tough time. We all have had a little bit too much to drink, and I think that her getting into the car is a problem. But I don't think that she is an addict at this point.
I want everybody to understand, though, rehab doesn't necessarily mean that you're an addict.
Exactly.
You can be somebody who took a moment to be like, the fact that I made the decision to get behind the wheel knowing that I had celebrated a little bit too much, I may want to address this before it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
And we celebrate that, because she could have hurt herself or others.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so. All right, Chris.
All right. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a reunion for Project Runway fans, because former host Tim Gunn says he was not asked back. So this came out in a new interview with People magazine. The Emmy award-winning style expert says he was not asked back for the reboot, and he says he was initially devastated by the news, because he says when talks began to bring back the long-running reality show, his co-host Heidi Klum texted him asking him if he would join her, and he said yes. But he eventually learned through his agent the studio bosses did not plan on bringing him back. Instead, they asked him to make a cameo on one episode. He says he passed on that offer, despite the fact Heidi promised to keep fighting for him. He told her not to worry about it, but he says he will still tune in to watch the new season and to cheer on his former co-host. That's tough.
Chris, that's like being a leading role in a movie than going to playing an extra.
I don't like that.
Yeah, bring him back as a cameo. And what I think is so heartbreaking to this is how they handled it, because apparently in those conversations with Heidi Klum, she texted him and said, hey, are you happy with your contract? And he said, what contract?
First of all, who gonna tell them that we really show up for Tim Gunn?
Yeah, he was the reason I watched.
And that's he is the reason why I started watching.
Yeah.
No shade to Heidi, you cool and everything, but he just gave what needed to be given, and he helped me, obviously, bring my financial sense to the forefront.
Mission accomplished.
And thank you. And I just don't like what that's saying. It seems to be this trend of when people believe that maybe you have aged or you're more seasoned in the space that you're in, that they feel like you are no longer needed in that space. And I feel like it's more that than the fact that he wasn't an asset to that show.
Couldn't agree
Even
more.
in radio, even in TV, you see the women, as they get older and more seasoned, they kind of move out. But we've watched men for decades do our morning news or whatever, go bald, widen out, and everything in between. So I think the other thing we're seeing is now they're doing it to the men. And it was okay, not necessarily okay when we saw it do it to the women.
But it was a standard.
But now that you see how they treated Joe Biden, and now Tim Gunn is like, oh, now that y'all are a part of the standard, it don't feel as nice.
You think there's ageism playing a role in this?
Most certainly do.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, there's just so many things that could be swirling behind the scenes that we just don't know that could have caused him to potentially
Heidi
lose his
texting
job.
him tells us that's not the case.
Yeah, she wasn't even in the loop. But hopefully he'll get something else that's bigger and better.
Yeah.
Call us, because you could just be fashion something right here.
You know, Celebrity Dish.
Listen.
Speaking of shows, I'll see you on a Lion Lunch Hour at 11.
Yes,
So yes, we'll hang out and have
This
more
got
fun.
better, and it smells good, too, and it's not just me. Yes.
Yes,
Jacqueline?
it's not just you.
You're not wrong.